Hey y'all. So of course I'm saying hello to the people on the replay. No one's here yet. So we're just waiting to see who is going to pop up. And if I have not spoken to you yet, Happy New Year. Hey Timothy. So happy 2022. I hope that the new year has been treating you well. And if not, we're going to talk about how it could in tonight's video. If you paid attention to the title, Why Resolutions Don't Work and What You Should Do Instead, a lot of why our January might be a little slow, even though you come into it pumped and ready to go, is because you make resolutions instead of doing something else. So I'm going to talk to you about that. How have you been? Yeah, so this is the first Pick My Brain of the year, and I am super duper excited for what is to come. So I finally decided on my schedule. So I announced last night on Let It Go Wednesday, which is on at She Writes Masterpieces if you're not following me there. So I'm going to do bi-weekly live videos. So I'm going to do Let It Go Wednesday on at She Writes Masterpieces at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. And I am going to do Pick My Brain on at Masterpieces Writing at 6 p.m. Central on Thursdays. So it's going to be boom, boom. Then I'm going to have a week off to rest, and then I'm going to come back. And the only reason that that schedule will get thrown off is if there's a holiday or there's a break or something like that. But of course, I will let you guys know so that you don't have to wonder where I am. And last year, I wanted to be consistent, but because I was still trying to figure things out, this is still new to me. It's like, okay, so I'm consistent for a little bit, but now I got to take a break. But it's like now I feel as if I've gotten comfortable and I have figured it out, so I'm going to continue with this schedule. And what I want for this year, I want you all to help me decide what will the topics be about. So I want to make sure that these are topics that serve you, that help you go further, whether it's with book writing, with your business, with your career, with whatever it is. If it's something I can help you with, I am here to serve. So just let me know what topics you are interested in. You can DM me, you can leave me a comment, or if you want to get on here and chat with me, I am open to that as well. And you don't necessarily have to be a business owner. You can just be someone who's curious. If you want to ask me questions live, like I'm for that as well. So just be sure to stay tuned and also share your thoughts. Like, what is it that you want to see? Or if it's something that you saw in the past that you want to see more of, let me know that. So it is 6:03, so I am going to go ahead and get started. So, like I mentioned, the title for this video is Why Resolutions Don't Work and What You Should Do Instead. And I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. If you are someone who makes New Year's resolutions, it's not a problem. But if you've noticed that you start off super excited, but yet and still you fall off somewhere along the end of January, beginning of February, it's because all you're doing with a resolution is just making a statement, just making a decision to do something. My sister joined. Hey, Lawanda. Good evening. Let me wave. Oh, it's not working again. I hate when that happens. But anyway, so like I mentioned, when you make a resolution, all you're doing is just making a declaration, a statement, saying that you want to do something. And I'll use myself as an example. So years ago, I wanted to create an ebook. And that was pretty much it. Like, I just had that thought. I want to create an ebook. And even though I would jot down ideas as to what I wanted the ebook to look like, what I wanted to say, it still didn't exist. And this is probably as early as 2015. So year after year after year, I want to write an ebook, but that ebook still did not exist. And it was not until probably 2020 when I got really serious. It's like, okay, so we can't just keep saying we want to write an ebook and we're not writing the ebook. And of course, with me jotting things down here and there, I had about 3,000 words, but it's like, this is jibber jabber. Like, you have to put this together into something concrete that you can give people. And I don't even remember exactly what month it was, but with the pandemic going on, it was like, okay, so we're all at a standstill, things have slowed down, and at that point it was becoming clearer, like, okay, if it's something you want to do, now is the perfect time to do it. So I want to say probably about mid 2020, I got really serious about writing it, and I know definitely by August, September I was writing, and I had a consistent schedule. So I knew exactly how much I needed to write within a month, within a week, within a day. And I had a projected due date for February 2021. And guess what? the ebook exists. And since then, I have created two more ebooks following the same system. And what changed was, okay, I still wanted to write an ebook, and I did. But I got very clear about what it looked like to create an ebook. So I turned my resolution into a goal. And basically, what a goal is just taking your decision, your declaration, and following it with action, with clear steps to get you to your end goal. Because with your resolution, all you have is this result, like this finished product, like I want it, but you still don't know exactly what is it going to take to get there. And you're not taking steps based on what it looks like to actually get there. So if you have made a resolution for this year, that is still perfectly fine. That is okay. You can easily turn it into a goal. All you have to do is create a clear timeline and a clear process. And there you go. You have to have action behind just a decision, because if you just decide to do something, you're training your brain to do it eventually. Not exactly telling your brain to do it right here, right now. But when you tell your brain, okay, I will publish an ebook by February 2022, you're telling it, okay, we're on the time clock now, so we have work to do. And when you talk to yourself like that, I'm really big on not just writing things down, but actually saying it. And if you want to turn it into an affirmation, that's fine too, something that you repeat to yourself over and over. So once you have your goal, okay, so I will publish a 5,000 word ebook by February 2022, which, even if that was a goal now, it's still possible. If you were able to break it down into how many words you need to write per day, per week. And I would definitely help you with that. So my sister mentioned she needs assistance with establishing and adhering to timelines. So with that, that's more so accountability. So whenever you have a clear idea of what you want to do and how you're going to do it, however, it's hard for you to stick to the in between as to what it takes to get there. So when you take that goal and break it down into smaller goals, that can become difficult too. But even with that, that's where accountability comes in. You have to make sure that it is worth it to you. And you have to make sure that within adhering to these timelines, and it's like, okay, so I know I want to do this. What's the reason why? When you're able to go back to the reason why you want to do something, that's something to keep you motivated. When you're able to motivate yourself along the way, that will keep you motivated. Because, of course, it's like when you have to be disciplined, that's not always fun. Even with people who have weight loss goals, like it's not always fun to not eat the things that you don't want to eat. Because, okay, a lot of people don't like vegetables. They think they're disgusting. I'm not one of those people. But some people do, and it's hard to cut out sweets and cold drinks, but oftentimes it's like you have to remind yourself, okay, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be healthier. I want to be better. So I have to limit this. However, you still can have a cheat day to where even though I'm not eating it all the time, I still can have that one day set aside to where I do it. So one of the ways to keep yourself accountable is to always remember your why, then reward yourself. Always have a moment, have a space and time to where, okay, so I'm going to pat myself on the back. If no one else does it, I did good this week. I met this amount of goals. And guess what? You don't even have to meet every single goal that you have outlined. And I made a post about this either last week or the week before. I set deadlines to keep myself accountable, but I don't hold myself hostage or a prisoner to a deadline. As long as I get it roundabout in the ballpark, I know that I'm still doing really well, because the goal is to just get there to the finish line. And you have to appreciate the process that gets you there. And oftentimes we beat ourselves up because I was supposed to do this by this day and that, but that is perfectly fine. As long as you are moving, as long as there is action, like that's really the main goal. And even with resolutions, it's just a decision. There's no action. That's why nothing happens. That's why by now a lot of people are probably like, well, I wanted to do this year. Don't know if it's going to happen. And it's just January. There's still a lot of time left to actually accomplish what you want to accomplish. You just have to get clear about what it is, what it's going to look like. And when I first started setting goals, I was a stickler for setting SMART goals. So if you're not familiar with that, SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So I was making sure all of my goals had all of this in it, right? And I even included this in my first ebook. However, over time I realized, like, you don't even have to have all of that. You can just have a clear timeline and a process to get there. And also incorporate, okay, so let's just say that I do fall off. Like, what would be my game plan to get me back on track? Because again, we have to be realistic. Things like that are going to happen, to where there's life that happens, you have emergencies that happen, things come up with work, with your family, and sometimes like you can just be drained mentally and emotionally. So it's like I just don't have it in me to work on my goals. So come up with a game plan for that. As I always say, it's like the goal itself really isn't the goal. It's like, what is it going to take to get you to that goal? And you're going to have smaller goals in between. But as long as you get dedicated to making sure that you meet those goals, then the process will be much easier. I'm not going to say it would be easy, because 9 times out of 10 it probably won't be, but it would be easier because you have a much clearer idea and perspective as to how you are going to reach it. And just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like whenever you have a plan but then it gets interrupted. So last year when I released my first ebook, I had a specific date in mind that I was going to release it, and I was actually on track to meet this date. But guess what? A winter storm popped up and I didn't have internet access. So it's like, oh no, like right when I was getting ready to upload and post. But I didn't panic. I was like, okay, so if this is happening, it's probably something I need to go back in, spend a little bit more time on. And I'm glad I had that extra time, so I didn't feel the need to beat myself up over like, but we were supposed to have it done, because that thought in the back of your mind would be like, well, if you would have done this sooner, then you could have still had it out by this date instead of waiting until this date to do it. But it's like, nah, I had to learn how to silence that voice and still congratulate myself. Like, so what if it wasn't all the way ready for that particular date? Now you have this window to make sure that it looks exactly the way you want it to look, so you don't have to rush. So it came out seamlessly, like with no issues or anything, and I was super duper proud of it. Even with my second ebook, I had a schedule. I was going to release an ebook every single quarter, and life happened. I went through a period to where I just did not have it in me to create. I wasn't motivated, so I wanted to release the ebook. I think the original date was like, I think it was May. I wanted to release it, but it did not come out until July, I believe. And guess what? I am still proud of myself for that, because I didn't completely stop. I just took a moment to rest. And that's all a part of the process. And as long as, like I said, you have that game plan to where you know what to do. Whenever you have to step away, whenever you have to take those moments, those breaks, so you can come back and just fall right back in line. Because again, everything was already clearly lined out. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And even though I took a break from my schedule, I just picked up where I left off. And like I mentioned, now I have 3 ebooks. I was able to do 3. Even though I wanted to do 4, I am still satisfied with 3, because guess what? I didn't have that before. The year before, all I was saying, I want to create an ebook, and those ebooks did not exist, but now they do. So this year, I'm taking my time with releasing another one, because again, I'm congratulating myself for what I have done. So just make sure that once you have all your goals outlined, you also be kind to yourself, you reward yourself, just be real, be honest with yourself, and just give yourself grace and know that you're a human. And as humans, we are limited in our capabilities and our capacity. Sometimes we need time to recharge. But the thing is, never let up on what it is that you want to accomplish. Always remain dedicated to what you want to accomplish. Because especially if you decided this year was the last year that you were not going to go after your goals, you got work to do. You definitely have work to do. But just make sure that you understand what comes along with all of that work. But trust me, I guarantee, you can take my word for it, it will definitely be worth it in the end. So make sure that you just get clear on what it is that you want, have a very concrete picture of what that looks like and what it is going to take to get there. And before you know it, you will be there, and you will be even further than you ever thought you would have been. So all it takes is just being very specific, very clear with what your goals are, and just taking action, taking steps toward it. No matter how long it takes you to do, just be committed to doing it. So that's all I have for tonight. Basically just sharing, why resolutions do not work, because there is no action. And in order to have resolutions that work, turn them into goals. Add a clear process and timeline to your resolutions, and before you know it, you have goals. And you have multiple goals, that's birthed from that one goal. So just continue to keep that in mind. And remember, like I said, be kind to yourself. I always tell my clients, have a minimum of 3. It's like, okay, so I know people can go further with their goals, but think about it. You have a whole year to do things. So if you have 3 big goals, you can break those down into smaller goals that will be easier for you to attain. Because I used to be one of those people who would have like 25 goals for the year, like big things too. But I told myself, it's like, you don't have to accomplish that right now. And I've realized those are my life goals. I have the rest of my life to work toward those things. So from all of that, I'm just taking a few at a time and working on them. And even with last year, I had a lot of things on my list to accomplish. But guess what? I didn't accomplish all of those, and I am perfectly fine. And the reason why is because I understood. It's like, it was impossible for me to do all of those things last year. But I'm so glad that I had like a running list of things. So I didn't have to stop and think about what I wanted to do in 2022. Just continue to keep working on these goals. And even with that, I was still proud of what I was able to accomplish last year, because it still was a lot. A whole lot more than I was used to accomplishing in years before, because I got very clear with what I wanted and what it was going to take for me to get there. So I hope that this video encourages you to do the same. I hope it motivates you to get clear on your goals, create your process, and if you need help with doing that, you can send me a DM, you can leave a comment if you have questions, or if you wanted to work with me one-on-one, you can go to the link in the bio, sign up for a one-on-one Boss Your Goals session. And also, if you're like my sister and you need help with getting to the finish line, you're good with your goals, but you just need help getting to the finish line, you can sign up for accountability partner sessions, and I will be there with you, being your support system, being your coach, being your cheerleader, making sure that you're staying focused and dedicated. And also, if goals need to change, if your process needs to change, that's okay too. And that's also something that I do with my clients. And all of that is inevitable. You are going to encounter things that happen that are going to. I am sorry, guys. Technology does some weird stuff. My headphones were trying to connect and they're not even on. So I don't even know what that was. But I'm going to take that as my cue to go. So like I was saying, any event that you want to work with me one-on-one, go to the link in the bio if you wanted to boss your goals or get an accountability partner. Also, I am still doing book coaching as well as editing, copywriting, all that good stuff. So if you want to work with me, you can go to my website, check it out. And I announced last night on Let It Go Wednesday that the website is going to get a new look. So that will be changing soon. So make sure that you are signed up for my mailing list so that there won't be a gap in between when the old one isn't up and the new one is up, so you'll always know what's going on with me and be the first to know when things are going on. And also, because you all are just so supportive and I absolutely love it, I have something special for the people that will be tuning in to my live videos here on Pick My Brain. So you can go to my Gumroad store and you can take $10 off my full ebooks as well as bundle deals with the code LIVE10. So that is LIVE10. You can take $10 off. Y'all, that is a lot. So, for instance, my recent ebook, Doing Business, The Legal Way How to Start and Run an Online Business, is $14.99. $10 off, that's $4.99. And it's still a lot of great information, and you're getting it for $4.99. So, go check all of that out. Again, the code is LIVE10, LIVE10, and it's only here on Pick My Brain. So you have to be tuned in here on Add Masterpieces Writing to take advantage of that. So anyone who watches the live video or catches the replay, you will be able to take advantage of these savings. And also, I want you all to help me create content. So if you all are interested in a certain topic that I have not mentioned, or if it's something that you want to see again, feel free to let me know. Send me a DM, leave me a comment. As always, if you wanted to collab with me and get on a video with me, feel free to send me a message or leave me a comment, and we'll take it to the DMs. But as always, I really do appreciate you all. And I mentioned before, but I'll mention it again if anyone didn't hear earlier. So my new schedule will be bi-weekly. So next week will be an off week, but I will be back with another video in 2 weeks. And within that time frame, I hope that you all are doing really well. I hope that you are taking care of yourselves. I hope that you all are actively working on your goals. So make sure that you all are just putting one foot in front of the other, making sure that you're clear on what it is that you want and that you're going after it. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you have a lovely evening, and I will see you all soon. Bye.